That we are back. Remember that Sonic 1 race that we had right at the start of the event? Well, you will see a familiar face. SuperSonic is returning to hopefully keep his crown. He's got another run to do. He's been through the whole trilogy. Somebody get this guy off. Honestly, he's taken over the whole show. He is going to be going up against March in this Sonic 2 race. This is glitchless as well. So if you've been around the channel a bit of time, you might have seen a glitch tournament way back when. But things are shifting a little bit. And glitchless, there's a bit of a revolution that I'm sure these runners and commentators will tell us about. So I'm going to hand over to them.
Alright, hello everybody. Well, I'm back. I'm SuperSonic. You've seen me previously on Sonic 1 and Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Here I am with Sonic 2 with the more fun category, Glitchless.
Hey everybody, I'm March, and happy to be racing here today against the one and only SuperSonic rematch.
Yep.
Hell yeah. On commentary, you've got me, TeePatt. You saw me yesterday, run Red Dude. And with me, I've got noobguy, fellow Sonic 2 mod. How you doing, noobguy?
I'm doing very well on this fine morning. How about yourself?
Not doing too bad, thank you. Not doing too bad. All coffeeed up, ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
How the runners feeling? Are you guys ready?
Yep.
I'm good to go.
Feeling good.
Should we get the show on the road? We can talk about the category as we go.
We are ready when you are.
Excellent. Okay, I'll give you guys the countdown then. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Good luck, fellas. Okay, so first zone we have Emerald Hill 1. If you're any kind of familiar with the classic Sonic runs, you'll know that the runners will be aiming for a 20 at least, to keep hold of their speedrunner card. It's very simple level, just a couple of spin dashes and, bouncing off three objects, or 4 if you can, after getting the speed boots. And we're at the end of the level. Yeah, so these guys are doing glitchless, and as Hibbs noted, there has been a bit of a sort of a resurgence of glitchless runs the last few months, and it's definitely become the more popular category recently. I'm guessing because there's a lot of optimizations to squeak out and a lot of stuff to kind of be found in terms of movement, as opposed to the glitch run, which is extremely optimized at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so both getting to the Emerald Hill 2 boss at a very similar time. Both doing the Tails method here. And so far so good for these two. Yeah, Glitchless has been absolutely huge recently. Heretics has been running it for a while. We've had Zyzix and Boom dueling it out, and Boom Fan actually getting a sub 17, which is a huge achievement. So Glitchless boards have definitely been filling up, so it's been very interesting to watch these runs.
Alright, coming into Chemical Plant, March making a little Eric there. There is an early cycle you can go for to aim for a 20 IGT. I don't know if the runners will be going for it. I think they're aiming for 22, 23. But if your spin dashes are pretty fast and your loop jumps are pretty good, then you can eke out making that early block cycle there to jump over it. SuperSonic getting a 23 and March with a 25.
Yeah, both getting through the door successfully. The door can really troll, and if it does, it can be difficult to get back up there with the proper speed and not a lot of time loss.
We should probably talk about the mechanics here. So what they used there to get up to the door there was a mechanic in this game called air speed cap. So when you jump and you hold the direction that you're jumping, a speed cap is applied. So that Sonic doesn't just go like insanely fast. And the speed cap is abused quite a lot in Sonic to make jumps that would otherwise be more difficult. A lot of the classic runners actually prefer having a speed cap because it's an easier way of controlling Sonic when you're used to it. Yeah.
Yeah. So both went for the Tails door skip, which is getting Tails on a different path to open up the door. Then all Sonic needs to do is put his feet on that path, and we can skip a good chunk of the level. Both getting a 40, which is great for Glitchless.
Yeah, the ideally, like the fastest time that you can reasonably get is 39. You can get a 38, but 38 is extremely difficult. Aquatic Ruin, pretty simple level. You literally just go to the right, and you want to do a good 6-tap on this hill here, because otherwise you get subpixeled, and then you hit the spring, and instead of just going over it, then you kind of just get flung upwards.
Yeah, so SuperSonic gets the path swapper swap. All you do is you jump, tap left a little bit in the air. March did not get it, but we still have very similar times. SuperSonic had a little bit of trouble with the spring on the hill. It does happen from time to time. We're still very, very much in sync. These levels have been back and forth by 1 to 2 IGT.
Into Aquatic Ruin 2, and believe it or not, for those who don't know, it's actually faster to go bottom route here and into the water, because on top route there is a lot of obstacles that make smooth movement pretty difficult. So both runners will be going for something we call coin flip here. So they
Both getting it.
And they both get it. They purposely take damage off the arrow, and then depending on where they're standing, they'll either do a 1 or 2-tap spin dash to get flung up over a path swapper. Both runners have to be careful about how they kill the boss here. It's easy to accidentally glitch this boss. If you kill it on a particular frame, it will speed up the animation and cause a load of flames to come out this capsule.
Yeah, so SuperSonic getting a 42, very good for glitchless time. There are some strats you can do that are still glitchless, such as pillar jump, but that's a little bit too difficult. Coin flip's more reliable. Marching a little slower time, getting caught up on some of the movement, but that's very nominal in these early stages here, and both will be doing the same route in Casino Night 1 here.
Yeah, so they'll be picking up the speed shoes, and they'll be taking a flipper and jumping their way over a shield monitor. And just basically trying to maintain this path here, staying up mostly top route. This level is an absolute nightmare for sometimes even experienced runners, because a wrong jump can send you down bottom route and lose you a ton of time. 31 and 32, SuperSonic and March respectively, pretty good times for Glitchless. That's sort of round about the region that you want to be aiming for.
Yeah, you also do have to be careful if you do get the proper route in this Casino Night 1 to not accidentally clip through the flippers, as that does make it a glitch to run. It is very easy to clip through them, so you do have to do some more difficult movement to avoid them. Luckily, they did not have to deal with that.
Yeah, Sonic 2 has its quirks, and there's a couple of areas like that where it's easy to accidentally glitch, and we'll see that in Act 2 of the next level as well, an area where it's easy to accidentally glitch. March taking it steady, coming down there, just to avoid any kind of glitchy behavior with the flippers. SuperSonic just slightly further ahead, and again taking it steady to not accidentally glitch through the flippers and coming into the boss area. Now this boss is an interesting one, because this boss's invincibility frames aren't completely the same for all hits. So the first hit, his iframes are a lot longer than the consecutive 7. So you saw there the runners have to spin dash under him first, and then make their way round the arch, and then jump over to land the consecutive 7 hits, and that's because of how long his iframes are after the first hit.
So both runners getting through there, about a 5-second difference. SuperSonic initially took damage on the first hit. You do have to get that timing down pretty good. That does put March in the lead ever so slightly. Hilltop 1 is not super different from the glitched route here. We're really just avoiding, as you've probably seen many times, the lava clip. Otherwise, the movement is very much identical in Hilltop 1.
Oh, SuperSonic getting the big jump there. That's good, because that's a good couple of seconds time save. There's like basically a little micro slope that you can use if you if you're in a good running speed or spin dash speed, then you can use that to skip one of the seesaws. We're into the lava section. Sorry, noobguy.
Both in the lava section almost identically here. Both getting through the door, yep. No subpixel, March bonking a little, but you just don't really want to get subpixel at the end of that ramp. If you do, you literally get stopped in place and you lose like 10 seconds for no reason. So both of them getting not that, so I'm very thankful for that. 48s for both of them, very tied. Hilltop 2, very movement-based once again, doesn't differ too much from the glitched route, depending on the strats you go for here. We'll see if they get early cycle or not.
Yeah, so they'll be going for a particular cycle. The cycles in this level are IGT based, and they start from the second the level loads in. There we are, 20 seconds onto the platform for both of them. SuperSonic making the half cycle.
Yeah, only losing him about a second or two there. March made the entire half cycle. That rock is a troll. March bonked on it. SuperSonic able to get away with it. Nobody clipped into the monitor. That's good.
Yeah.
March pausing for that platform as you can. Randomly fall through it, take damage, lose time. Both getting to the boss here. Very non-trivial boss. You're just looking to roll at a certain time, and Tails will not troll you, as sometimes he does.
Both runners finishing under a minute. I'll note March just a minute on the dot there, which is good for Hilltop 2 glitchless. Is what you want to be aiming for. All right, Mystic Cave 1. As Joey describes, the hardest, easiest level in the run.
Yes.
And that's because in its the way it's presented is a very simple level. But there's minor things that if you do wrong, you can lose a fair bit of time. There's a little trick that we can go for here in Glitchless, where we sneak in between two of the boxes here from a certain jump. Both the runners opted not to go for it, and I don't blame them, because if you don't get it, then you lose more time.
It rhymes with socks gex.
Yes, correct. We'll leave it at that. So this is a very, very heavy movement stage. SuperSonic getting a 32, March hitting a 40. Like, there's just so many things that can go wrong, even though the stage is so straightforward. Mystic 2, very, very similar thing. Again, heavily movement-based. There are no glitches in Mystic 2. And the boss can sometimes have some RNG factor to it. We'll see how those runners take it. First, they got to get there, though. SuperSonic.
He got the frame perfect jump.
He did. Yep,
Yeah.
And just didn't get majority of it, but still saves a good amount of time there. Some quick spin dashes. March going for it, and he gets it.
Let's go, that's class. So you have to do a 4-tap spin dash there. It's just an example of an area where you have to do specific spin dash speeds rather than just, wailing a 6-tap. And that gives you the perfect speed to clear a lot of the area there. SuperSonic with 44.
Both of them have had very clean bosses. They had good spike RNG. Tails helped SuperSonic a little, but he was able to get Robotnik dead before both of them moved. Same with SuperSonic, so it's a very good stage.
Right, Oil 1. This is probably one of the trickier levels for newer runners, because you have to be careful not to apply Sonic's speed cap at the wrong points. So you can hold right to a degree, but you've already got to be running in the oil. Because if you try and hold right while you're in the air, you'll speed cap, you'll lose a ton of speed, and it just becomes very risky. SuperSonic having a pretty clean Oil 1 here, same with March.
Both played it a little safe in the real tricky oil section. I don't blame them. It can be difficult to time that spin dash and get through in one swoop, but both having a 35, so very nice. They both skipped the fan with some timed jumps. We're on to Oil 2 now. This does differ quite a lot from the glitched route. You'll see more of the stage. You'll see them opt to go for some invincibility. You still want to use that cannon. You just don't want to hold right into the spikes there. And then now we start to see some more of the level.
Having to do a slow spin dash off the slope there. so that you can get into the cannon straight away. Because if your spin dash is too fast there, as you'll see on March's screen, when you bonk off that enemy, if your spin dash is too fast, you won't make it in to the cannon. The Oil 2 glitchless route is actually pretty quick. Oil 2 casually is a very long level because people, won't know where they're going and stuff. But it's been routed out. It's actually a pretty quick level. You can do this level in 49 seconds or faster.
Yep, so SuperSonic gets the 1 cycle. That's major. March coming into the boss just now to look for that same 1 cycle. You really do want to get the 1 cycle as to not lose an extra 10 to 12 seconds waiting for Robotnik to show up again. So both getting a 52, and we are off into Metro. This is really make or break of both of them. This has been a great race so far, as they are pretty much within 10 seconds of each other, which is incredible for this game. So definitely keep cheering our runners on as you're getting a good show here.
SuperSonic getting done by the crab there.
Yeah, if Tails follows you up like that, the platform will remain open, so you do have to take damage to the crab and hope it closes in time, unfortunately.
That's something we probably want to cover here. So the entirety, pretty much, of Metropolis, so Acts 1, 2, and 3, there is a fair amount of Tails manipulation needed. So that you can, spin dash on these nuts faster. And if Tails does anything wrong, you lose a buttload of time.
Yeah, so you'll see the runners often wait before going to the next section for Tails, because it just does save time, especially navigating nuts. Both getting the jump there, which a lot of people take for granted up on that nut, because if you do fall down, you do lose a lot of time. So far, a very solid Metro 1. Didn't get super early cycle, but they should be able to get sub 120 here. So yeah, 114 and 107. So March gaining back a little bit of time there.
So March still in the lead coming into Metro 2, but that could all change. Metro 2 and Metro 3 are pretty long levels, and you could go all sorts of wrong in these stages. Both of them getting a pretty clean bumper section. That's actually quite hard to do. You have to basically hold the jump button, then let it go, and then hold it again at specific points in order to clear the slicer there.
Yeah, there's our good old-fashioned Sega Genesis lag when you have a lot of rings. So unfortunately, it does not help in this RTA race. Taking damage gives SuperSonic a little bit more breathing room here. You do have to avoid a juggernaut of enemies, slicers, and spheres here. So you'll see both of them having to wait for cycles of those blocks. They are level-based, so it is unfortunately not screen-based. So far, pretty solid movement for both of them. They're getting near the end here for SuperSonic. March making his way. He's gonna lose a little bit of time. Oh, spin dash is the wrong way, but at least he's able to get back on the platforms there.
We've all done that. We've all accidentally spin dashed the wrong way. That's super annoying when that happens. Yeah, like the enemy placements in Metro, just as a whole, like I feel like the devs really fell off when it came to the design of this whole zone as compared to the rest of the game.
They're having too much fun.
Yeah. Oh, March trying Boom strat there. So Boom came up with a sneaky little time save at the beginning of Metro 3 there, where you manipulate Tails on a platform to save like a second or so. Unfortunately not getting it, but that was a good try.
No, unfortunately it burned him a little bit, and SuperSonic playing a little more safe in that section so far is gaining more time. Now, Metro 3, I think a make or break, regardless of where the both runners are, is can they get one cycle on the boss here. So there is a strategy to keep Robotnik on the floor the entire time in order to be able to get all 8 hits of him in a very speedy manner.
And Fastener as well, which SuperSonic is coming up to now. He's going to have to wait for Tails here and then go through the teleporter. And I think he's going to try for it. And he gets the semi-fast nut, which is pretty good. like even getting that can be hard because Tails AI doesn't.
Okay,
always...
March getting some form. Oh, and this
that's so unlucky.
just got aimbotted there, dude. Get freaking vac ban on that enemy. Yeah, trying for fast nut. Probably just gonna take what he can get here. Supersonic at the boss. He should be able to manipulate Tails here. Yep, we'll see what happens with this one cycle.
The one cycle is not guaranteed either. Like you can do everything right, and rings can just fall through the floor.
Yep.
Or
he can face the other way. Tails can jump.
Yeah.
All right, so March getting there. He's gonna kill Tails here to force him to respawn. That way, when Sonic is holding a spin dash, we can do a diagonal input to get Tails face the other way, which you need for one cycle. March gonna go for it here. Does get a frame. Gets a ring.
Tails trolled. Tails trolled.
Tails trolled. It was looking good so far. March did everything right. Still only has like one ball left, so did recover a decent amount on that boss compared to Supersonic, but probably still gonna be about 10 seconds behind.
Right, both runners coming into Sky Chase now.
Someone is blowing up their mic. I don't know what that was.
Apologies for that, folks.
I mean,
Was that you, Hibbs?
No, it was me. My sound card messed up. I haven't been able to hear anything.
Yeah,
Hibbs,
poor March's sound card.
Hibbs,
Yeah,
if you
it's
got
been-
anything you want to cover, I'd say now's probably a good point.
Well, fortunately, Sky Chase is a zone that doesn't have a boss in this game, but let me tell you of what games does have a whole load of bosses in. In fact, a run that has a whole load of bosses in from several games. We have got HUDs. He's going to be going through Sonic 2, but he's going through Sonic 2 in a different way. He's also going to be going through Sonic 1, Sonic 3, and Sonic and Knuckles with a boss ring shuffler. A reminder that we have an incentive for that. So we've already met the first one. Instead of having 4 bosses to shuffle at the same time, he's going to have 8. And we also have another incentive open, and if we have that met by the time the run comes along, he will have to try and get his head around every single boss from 1, 2, 3, and Knuckles. And as much as we love HUDs, I think, making things a little more interesting for him, not necessarily harder. Maybe he's practiced this one a bit more. I think is certainly what I'd like to see. So if you've got any spare change going and you'd like to donate towards that and our charity Able Gamers, then that would be awesome. We've also got the classic Sonic CD soundtrack. Japanese soundtrack is winning. Lo and behold, there was a moment in time where the American soundtrack was winning. I think it's probably fairly safe to say that if I asked the runners and commentators in here what their favorite one is, they'd probably say
Japanese.
Japan.
Japanese.
There we
Yeah.
go. There we go. Supersonic with a 206.
Yeah,
I'm
not
lost.
205 reset.
Yeah. Yeah, so Sky Chase, definitely a hold right stage. Definitely a Glenn O'Brien stage. Shout out to Glenn O'Brien, by the way. I just had to say that.
Big shouts to Glenn.
All right, so Wing Fortress here. We're still going to follow the same path as the glitch route, but you will see that we cannot magically hover over the platforms here. We do have to actually wait for them, and they are power on, so it really is at the mercy of when you decided to power on your Sega Genesis one day. So both runners navigating them pretty well. Supersonic getting near the boss already. March heading to those aforementioned platforms.
Oh, March.
March took a tumble. It is Wing Fortress Classic. It is a very tough route. Supersonic, I'm presuming, going to go for one cycle here. Looking good so far. Oh, it's going to have to be a 2 cycle, but got a good amount of hits in, so...
7 on the 3rd cycle is still pretty good, though.
Yeah, it is a little common to get 7 on the first, and unfortunately, not get that last one. It's very tight. Supersonic heading to Death Egg now. March making his way up. We've got some clean movement up to that zipper. That ramp does really like to eat your jumps.
I think Wing Fortress is a more interesting level in Glitchless, to be honest.
Yeah, this boss definitely has a more of a factor in Glitchless. Although I will say in Glitched, if you don't get the manipulation properly, you are kind of screwed.
Yeah, you basically, it depended on how you mess up, you either have to jump down into the boss area or you're soft locked.
Yep.
So,
Yep. So both
But-
getting 7-1. One cycle. One cycle's very tough, but I don't blame them. SuperSonic getting to the death egg now, 153.
we're still not in the clear yet because I think we have a history of Sonic 2 runners trolling on the egg robot.
It is a very precise boss. There's 12-0, there's 9-3. Both are pretty precise. You do have to avoid a lot of moving hitboxes.
I think SuperSonic goes for 10-2 usually.
We'll see here. Yeah, looking like 10-2. Navigating over that flame.
Looking good
Getting
so far.
under. Okay.
I counted 10 there. And
Here we go.
that is it, 10-2. That is GG's to SuperSonic.
GG SuperSonic 50. March only really shortly behind. Really the only thing in this run that separated them was just the one death in Wing Fortress. So we had a very, very, very close race up until the second to last stage of the game. So you definitely got what you were paying for here in this stream. We're gonna cheer March on as he works on this same Death Egg robot.
March is going for it. He's going for it. Oh, he's so tight.
No.
Oh,
I
It
wasn't
was
gonna.
very good though. It was
well.
good attempt.
it was a very good attempt, yeah. Alright, 10-2. Pull a 50, 51 just on fade out. There's a GG's.
GG's for March.
Well done, both runners.
GG SuperSonic.
Yo, GG's, man. Good race.
Ah man, that was we were close that whole time, huh? That was
Yeah.
crazy. Yeesh.
Pretty exciting.
Just need you to make a mistake. Why won't you make mistakes?
I made
That
a
man's
few.
sharp. That man is sharp. He knows how to do races. This guy.
Yeah, one of my first races with SuperSonic was when I had like a 21 and glitched, and he did not make a single mistake. It was a blowout. So he's a very, very good racer.
SuperSonic, do you have to do? Were you tracking your in-game time?
I wasn't actually, so I have no idea what IGT I have.
I ended up with a 1916.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty happy with. Not gonna lie.
19 in a race, that's pretty good.
That was very
Yeah.
good. So probably
With the
SuperSonic,
death, yeah.
probably put SuperSonic at 18.4x.
Probably. I'll have to
Yeah,
go back and
yeah.
see what my IGTs are.
Probably beat my PB. He probably beat my PB. That's always a little discouraging.
Nah, you're fine. I mean,
GG.
you've been playing
GG.
really well on this, so it's only a matter of time until you get a really good time in this category.
Yeah, one day.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, everybody who's been part of this. We'll go through each of you. March, are there any shout-outs from the community that you want to do, or do you just want to? I mean, we'll invite you to promo yourself as well. Let the people know what you do.
Yeah, so I speedrun classic games. Probably going to be speedrunning Secret of Mana sometime soon. Taking a little break from Sonic, but I'll always be coming back to it. And if you want to catch my stream, I'm over at twitch.tv/March_TV. And thanks everyone for having me and for commentating and all that.
Awesome, thanks so much. SuperSonic, this is your last chance, unless you're on for commentary later. I know that you've been sweeping the marathon as much as you can, but yeah.
No,
What do
I
you
mean,
want to say?
this will be it for me, but thank you very much for everybody in the Sonic Speedrunning community for having us here. It's been a thrill to run technically the trilogy like separately in a way, but yeah, you can catch me on twitch.tv/supersonic_. Usually stream a lot of Sonic stuff, sometimes like other things like the red plumber dude sometimes.
Who?
But,
Nah.
Nah.
yeah, I'm mostly like a variety retro speedrunner, so you can catch me doing a lot of like various retro games. And yeah, again, also thanks to TeePatt and noobguy for filling in for commentary. Toogs was supposed to be in the race as well, and None to one as
Yeah.
well, but fortunately they couldn't make it. So shout out to those guys as well. And yeah, that's all I gotta say.
Awesome. Commentators, I think we've got time. You're welcome to do any community shoutouts besides Glenn O'Brien, of course.
Oh man. Yeah, shout outs to all the homies. You guys know who you are. I don't need to name you anymore. But yeah, my guys. Mwah. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it from me.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's super fun. I always love a good Sonic 2 race. Sonic 2 super fan. Yes, these two runners did very, very well for a very tough game, so give them credit for that. And thank you for having me on, per usual.
Yeah, big thanks for having me on.
Awesome. Well, once again, both thank you so much for running. And yeah, folks, we are going to be taking another intermission. And I believe, I should probably know by this point, we are lining up another classic Sonic game. We were talking about this. So Frontiers was our second game of the marathon, and we skipped pinball. Tragic, I know. Well, if only there was a Sonic game that focuses solely on pinball. You know where this is going. Argic is going to be running Sonic Spinball after an intermission. So, folks, it's Argic, it's Sonic Spinball. It's going to be a madness, and we will see you after our intermission. Stick around, folks.